See here, this is the kind of infrastructures we have in the richest continent in this world. Who are supposed to be blamed for this?
And then I don't even want to blame, the rest of the world. First, independence was from colonialism. So after colonialism, when we got independence, there are people who are being fed. And so I don't want to blame those people. I want to blame ourselves. I want to blame us. How do we keep in this state of affairs? So the industry developed, something else associated with it. Some, at that time, were, of course, being taken to Europe, to Belgium, to France, to UK, to Canada, wherever, to study and become, good Africans. But at the same time, they were really good Africans gaining these capacities, but groomed and to feel good about being associated with the same people. You always, even currently, you say, oh, this is anti-West, this is, this is a Western. Even before, when one of us becomes a leader on our continent, he says, how is he with the West? Yeah, how is he? Is he our person? There is no question of saying, is he an African, a good African, who is changing, the lives of his people, our people. So, and then this leadership, or the leaders to be dealing with this, got caught up in this transition from the colonial times to independence times, and somehow what is African got lost in between. And even when they are saying, is he a good leader? Or is he, yeah, because you are a good leader in as far as you can be associated with the West. Not with Africa. Now, if what I'm saying might even not be accurate, then why do we have everything on this continent? Have actually leaders were educated and informed and gone through all kinds of challenges. We have the resources, we have, and some are even characterized as being democratic and this or that. But it has not delivered this change I'm talking about. And we are there on our watch. And then there are troubles as of that time and that are similar as to those we have today. We have tribes fighting each other. We have people saying, even for the same country. But when it comes to embracing those outside who feed us, or want to be seen to be good to us, then you understand what follows.
When I'm trying to understand what Mr. President is saying, when it comes for Africa to take responsibilities and charges of our own affairs, there are those who want to be better to those who feed us. And this is the big problems. We see, for instance, in Mali, Guinea, Niger, when the people went out and say no to France, there are those who are in the side of France and saying these people of Mali, of Guinea, of Burkina Faso are too wrong. They must do this and this. But the same people who went out and say colonialism is bad, they demand the unity of this continent, our resources must be protected. When someone coming in and starting to protecting the resources, automatically they change.
They embrace them.
So what do we want as Africans? Because we have seen when someone coming, a good person who is protecting our resources, who trying to push back those who exploit us, and yet we turn around and say this person is dictator, this person is not good, and we move to the side of exploiters. And then at the end of the day, we betray those who are trying to defend us, to protect our resources. So do we know what we want as Africans? That is a big question that we must ask ourselves. We have seen in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Guinea, in Niger, when the people come out and demand friends to go out.
About the conflicts, about all kinds of things, about coups, coup d'etats, about this, and we will discuss that. But I just wanted to say, you cannot find a solution relating to leadership or Pan-Africanism and the transformation that must happen in our continent without starting a little bit from the historical background that I was talking about. Otherwise, you can easily forget where you are coming from and where we want to go. That's why I brought up that that bit of background so that we can get started about why are we where we are today, meaning Rwanda, meaning Nigeria, meaning Africa. And it's not a simple matter, because Africa, I don't think anyone, certainly I know for Nigeria and for ourselves, I know better about our country, of course. I don't think anyone is happy that Africa is where it is when you look at the rest of the world. We should be in a much better place than where we are. There's no question about it. And maybe we'll continue to have a conversation about that. And why is it common to all of us, meaning Africans, from north, south, east, west, central, wherever. And my problem has always been and continues to be, and we have conversations among ourselves, leaders of this continent, but still we don't see much progress. Why, with all the people, resources of all kinds? In actual fact, the fact that even across that the rest of the world where we see things better than here, those contributing to the well-being of those places, in most cases come from Africa. Doesn't matter whether you go to the US, to Europe, to wherever, you'll find very good Africans at the top of the ladder, almost in every sector, making therefore these vital contributions to these countries or parts of the world. Then we come back to our continent. It's some people are aware of. In fact, incredibly aware of, but those are few. The hundreds of millions are barely making a living. And so we talk about this every day, at least for the time I have been here, which is now running into 3 decades. The struggle is about that, the questions are about that, and we keep measuring, we find. So I'm trying to imagine that what my country goes through, what we all go through, trying to answer this question, is what people you lead in your states are going through. And that's what is going on in your minds, the leaders of those states, the governors. And that's what's going on in the minds of other leaders, whether it is the president, ministers, so on and so forth. There are these similarities. So how do we answer this question? We're talking about leadership because we're talking about leadership to deliver with people certain goods around development, security, stability, development, good governance, all kinds of things. We're also talking about Pan-Africanism because we are saying there is a common problem across the continent. So we really have the same questions to answer. And who else is going to do that? It's you and me. But it's also those people that we lead that must be part of it, if you will. So how do we break out of this cycle of our continent? And when I talk about breaking out of this cycle, I mean sometimes we have to start a little bit from the beginning, a little bit of history needs to be put into account. We are not where we are, that we are not happy about, by accident. Or we are not staying there and not making the headways we want to make, again, not by accident. It's because of certain things we can identify, talk about, you know, in your place, in my place, in some other African's place, and things you can feel and touch and